Now, first words out of your mouth are the most important. You may want to start with something like this here. You are the most beautiful woman in the galaxy. But that might not work.
Yes, it would.
You don't know how long I've wanted to tell you that.
But you're afraid.
Yes.
Of me?
Of us, of what we might become.
Commander?
Or that you might think that was a lie.
Maybe I do think it's a lie.
And you think I'm not sincere.
I didn't say that. There's nothing wrong with the line. It's like a knock at the door.
Then you're inviting me in.
I'm not sending you away.
That's more than I expected.
Is it as much as you hoped?
To hope is to recognize the possibility. I had only dreams.
Dreams can be dangerous.
Not these dreams. I dream of a galaxy where your eyes are the stars and the universe worships the night.
Careful. Putting me on a pedestal so high you may not be able to reach me.
Then I'll learn how to fly. You are the heart in my day and the soul in my night.
I don't think this is my style.
Shut up, kid. Tell me more about my eyes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I are huge Star Trek nerds. Dory's a Star Trek novice, and we are taking her on her first journey through Star Trek The Next Generation. Today, we're talking about the Season 2 episode, The Dauphin, and the original air date is February 18th, 1989. And as always, we'll take it away to Dory for the recap.
Okay.
I can already hear the disappointment in your voice the moment you said that.
Let's start with the title. Very quickly. Okay. In my predictions, I basically was saying that Dauphin is implied it's a boy because it's actually the way that it's spelled in this. That is correct. It's the masculine spelling. If you want the female spelling, it's an E at the end. But also, this was predominantly used and as French eldest son. It literally means eldest son. TNG, it means eldest son.
Wait. Let's be fair. They're shapeshifters. She may not even be she.
They also never say it. They call her the Dauphin. So this title was stupid. Because here's the thing. Whatever gender or non-gender, whatever it is, that doesn't matter. Like how she presents, that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Like it just doesn't matter because they present it as the masculine form.
Yeah.
And they never call the character this once.
I feel like they're expecting Americans not to know that.
But I'm Canadian, god damn it.
Well, it's also possible they don't know that.
Yeah. It's possible they didn't realize it was the masculine
It's just
spelling.
it's just like the easiest thing to know, to like look up.
Let's be perfectly fair here, okay? Star Trek is a very, very long franchise. This is neither the first nor the last time that they've chosen a bad title.
No,
okay,
of course.
there's an episode of the original series that doesn't even give you a remote clue as to what the fuck it's going to be about because the title is For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky.
Nope, canceled. Next.
Actually, I'm thinking of it now. The next episode, the title it doesn't really... I don't want to give spoilers, but it doesn't
Maggie,
really
you
have
are correct. You are correct.
It doesn't really have much to do with the episode.
Oh, spoilers. You ruined it.
Oh my god. Okay, so that
Actually,
just off
at the
bat.
end, once you hear the name of the episode, Dory, you'll be happy it has nothing to do with the episode.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, okay. So, title aside, which I am...
Okay, there's
bad
criticism number
about.
1.
Okay. All right. Recap. Okay. So, the team, they're on their way to Clivdia. How do you pronounce it?
It doesn't matter.
Whatever. They're on to a planet. They're going to a planet to pick up.
They're going to planet 3 and they have to go to planet 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need to go pick up Celia of Daled 4.
Which they say quite a bit.
Yeah. So like Geordi needs to do some like maintenance to like the warp drive or whatever. And
right now for no particular reason. Just to slow the episode down.
Yeah, they're in no rush to get this princess to, or not a princess, I don't know, the heir. I don't know. I don't really know.
They're in no rush to get this
What are they-
Dauphin to where she needs to go.
Ugh. Let's call it the dolphin. Because that's what it means technically.
Okay,
is
so they're not in a
dolphin.
rush to get this Dauphin where
So-
she needs to go.
Yes.
I always read the title as Dolphin.
Oh, same.
Always.
And
Yeah.
like you and I, we all know a little bit of French at the very least. We'd see
Yeah,
this and be
yes.
like, yeah, okay, that's a French word. Okay, I get it. But nah, I don't want to.
Because, yeah, this was all wrong, and I'll call her either Celia or the dolphin. Okay. So, like, they go to pick them up. Celia's interested in, like, the ship. She wants to, like, go around. Anya is her protector or, like, companion. Anya's not impressed. She's, like, this old lady who's, like, grouchy. So they're like, okay, let's go to our room. And then at that exact moment, Wes exits the lift and makes very intense eye contact with Celia
Ew.
until she is distracted by the magnet he's carrying. And he's like, this is my perfect woman. She knows this magnet.
Literally, oh my god, she's a nerd girl. I'm so into her.
Yeah. Oh, it's Clavdia is the world that they're picking her up from.
Who cares?
I promise you, I will not remember that. I'm just calling Planet 3 and Planet 4.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry to listeners. I'm gonna be slacking on some of these words. Okay. So Wes is so distracted by Celia that she just like goes to work. Oh no, he doesn't. He just doesn't show back up to
Oh
work.
yeah,
and,
that's right. He just goes
Jordy's
back to his quarters.
yeah, and Jordy's like, "Hey, bro, where are you?" And he's like, Wes, get the fuck back to work. Wes is like, "Oh yeah, fair." So Wes is like working and like fucking up. Oh yeah, okay. So we're on the bridge. Okay, Troy does not think, like, she thinks there's something like off with Celia and Anya. She's like, they are who they say they are, but they're also not who they say they are. And then we go to Celia in her room, and she's talking to the actress. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's like Madchen Amick. Like, I've seen
Yeah, it
a
has an
billion
accent
things.
in
She
it.
was
I'm
in-
not sure how to pronounce it either, but
Yeah.
yes, you're aware of this. I was very happy that you recognized
She was
her,
on
yeah.
Twin Peaks. She
Oh,
was most recently on Riverdale as Betty's mom.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah. She's fucking gorgeous.
She is. That woman.
And they
like,
gave her a boob
it's
window just
unfair.
because of it.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful. When I saw her, though, because it's always sort of nice to see, like, these random actors pop up and stuff. You're like, oh, hey!
So, two random points about her. One, she was actually the runner-up to play Celia. And so they gave her this part because they liked her performance so much. And two, she's Anya. That's supposed to be Anya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
There's like no point in that though.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. She's also an Ewok.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. With
creepy
really
Ewok.
creepy eyes.
We find out later that they're shapeshifters.
Yeah.
Which is a non-point.
Yeah.
It serves no purpose to the episode, but yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
It truly didn't make sense. It didn't matter.
It added some conflict, I guess.
I guess.
For a second and a half. when
Yeah.
I'll get to that later. The second and a half of conflict. Okay, so then, like, Wes is back at work, and he's fucking up. And Jordy's like, hey, what's going on? And Wes is like, I met this girl, and she's perfect. And Jordy's like, oh, well, you're going to keep fucking up, so, like, take the day off. And I was
Yeah.
like, excuse me. How many times have I had a crush? My bosses were never like, hey, take the day. Rude.
Well, the future is a much more, open-minded place. Also, I'd like to point out that while it is totally realistic for him to, like, get distracted and literally, like, fuck off and forget to go back to engineering, that part I was like, yeah, horny kid, okay, I get it. But, like, sitting there and quite literally, like, dozing off while he's in the middle of something that requires attention, I don't know if that one
He's
is
not
quite
dozing
as,
off, he's daydreaming.
Not dozing off. Yeah, daydreaming. It's I think the first part of it was more believable than the second part because the way that Jordy is talking about it is literally like, all right, you're horny, time to get out of here.
Yeah. Also found it really funny that Jordy's like, take a day. And then Wes is like, I need advice. And Jordy's like, don't fucking ask me for advice. I'm busy. I have to do your work.
In Jordy's defense, Jordy is possibly the worst person to talk to about women, besides the two people that he talks to next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. No. I'm supportive of Jordy. I just think it's funny that like he literally is like, "Hey Wes, you can go leave," and then Wes is like, "Hey Jordy, let me bother you with questions now that I'm not going to be doing work."
Well, yeah.
So then, yeah, as Jeff mentioned, Wes decides to go to the last people you should go to for relationship or, not any advice, but for this particular advice, what to do with a crush. Worf just like yells.
Yeah. It's like a hard cut to him screaming.
It's so good. Like Worf's whole, like that whole section, I wrote it down, that whole, like that exchange. It is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll do it later when we get to like parts and lines and whatever. But it is so fucking good. I couldn't ask for a better response. And then like Data puts his 2 cents in and it's like, Data, I love you, but like,
Yeah, no.
Your 2 cents are very uninformed.
Yeah. Okay. So then Wes goes to Riker.
That's why they don't even make pennies anymore.
Hey-oh.
Sorry, that was stupid.
Well, in Canada, they still do other places, but okay. So Wes goes to Riker, and then he brings over Guinan, and this exchange I enjoyed immensely.
I actually want to ask what the point in that exchange was. It's really funny, but I don't get why it exists.
Why not?
I think it's like fan servicey, and I really liked it. Mm-hmm. You know what line got me? It was like, I wrote down the whole thing. I wrote in the entire freaking exchange.
You would.
Yeah, it was great. Like I really enjoyed it, and Guinan was so great. I love it. It was so good.
It's immensely entertaining. It's just it's basically two people reading lines back at each other because they snap back at each other so quickly that it doesn't even come off as clever. It's like they're reciting a play.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to be clever. I think it's supposed to be like,
just quick.
Yeah, they're just
Snappy.
supposed to be like bouncing off each other,
No, I know. It's just they're so quick with what they're saying that it doesn't come off as realistic, which is why I said it comes off like reading a play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked
I
it though. Still,
I still like it. It's just really dumb.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, I think it's supposed to. I think that was their intention. That this is like weird and awkward and dumb. I don't think they meant it to look cool and whatever.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was pointless, but truly so enjoyable.
Yeah.
And now I get it. I get it with Riker.
Yeah.
It's like most of it was like pretty corny, and that's like too corny for me. But you know what got me was like, okay, his first line of that is he says to her, "You're the most beautiful woman in the galaxy," and then she makes a face, and he goes, "But that might not work." And then Guinan goes, "Yes, it would." And then Riker's line, this is what got me. He goes, "You don't know how long I've wanted to tell you that." Thank you.
Yeah.
And that was the line that got me. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it's such a, like, I don't know, throwaway. Like, I don't know. This whole conversation is a throwaway, but, like, I don't know why, but that line got me. Ugh. How dare you, Riker?
Well, I think, like, you've mentioned that, like, you like sort of, like, cheesy romance novels, right?
Oh, I read a lot of cheesy romance novels. I don't like them.
Oh.
I'm just here's my issue. I'll be honest. I'm really bored. I have like a lot of free time. I love reading, but my problem is I am notoriously bad at have a bad habit of buying books that turn out to just be bad. So like I just look for what I can find like for free.
Yeah.
Online or something. And it tends to be romance novels. So I just will read there and just get angry. Because I've mentioned this before in a different episode. the reason why the word like females or female like aggravates me to a whole other level is because that's how they're referred, like that's how women are referred to in romance novels, as females, and it's so condescending. It just makes me want to like rip out my own hair. But
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I just, for some reason, if that line, like I'm not really like a cheesy.
He delivered it really.
He just delivered it
sexily, yeah.
effectively.
Yeah.
Effectively. That like if somebody said that to me, I'd like throw something and be like, stop, but I would enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah. I like it too because it's like, to me, I didn't read it as like, neither of them are like buying the lines, but they're having fun, like
Yeah.
saying all this cheesy stuff back and forth to each other.
They were definitely having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's it, is like you're saying all this cheesy stuff, but not in like, but it's a joking way. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think if somebody was said to this stuff to me in serious, I'd be like, oh, fuck right off.
Yeah, because he wasn't saying it in earnest. He was saying it. He was self-aware. They were both self-aware about how corny and cheesy the stuff they were saying was. But they, like I said, they were just having fun doing it.
Yeah. I think it was fun. I really loved it. And then like the ending of it, where Wes is like, I don't think this is my style. Then Guinan goes, shut up, kid.
Yeah.
And then back to Riker, tell me more about my eyes.
And then Wesley just walks away.
Yeah. Oh, damn. That it's just so good.
Yeah.
So freaking good. Oh, yeah. Forgot about, we're still on the recap.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So then, like, so Anya's out bothering Geordi. So, like, Wes goes to see Celia, and she's like, oh, I need some help with my food dispenser thing. And he's like, okay, yeah. So he goes in the room, and they're, like, chatting a little bit. It's very cute. Oh, these two little nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cute. And then she wants something sweet, so he orders Chilean chocolate mousse.
Because
No
young
spoon,
people
though.
always want chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, but I'm not going to argue with that. But like, no spoon. She just like puts her finger in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like no spoon, guys. No.
He
spoon?
didn't ask for one.
Okay.
Yeah, the replicator didn't even
just
give her a
picture-
spoon. It usually does give you utensils, I think.
I do love the idea of like she's holding it out and like Wes just pushes her face in.
Maybe Chileans don't use spoons.
That's how like they eat her. She just went face first, just of her own like choice.
Also continuing the Star Trek tradition of saying a normal thing but putting a like fake space word in front of it. It can't just be chocolate mousse. It has to be Chilean chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
Like a
special.
Denobulan anecdote.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, Anya is continuing her tour with Worf and, like, goes into the medical room hospital thing. Sorry, I just hit the thing. There's a bug
Sick
on
bay?
my desk. The sick bay. Yes. Goes into sick bay. And there's, like, a guy there, and she's like, what's wrong? And Dr. P's like, oh, he's, like, fine. He's just got this, like, condition. And then Anya loses her shit and is like, oh, no, that is any chance of contagion, then, like, oh, my gosh, then the dolphin could die. So, like, he needs to die. Kill him. And
Kill the
Dr. P's
child.
like, sorry, what now? And then Anya digivolves into creepy Chewbacca. And then, like, tries to fight Worf. But then, like, everybody shows up and they're like, Anya goes back to Anya-ness and
Do her humanoid
Dr.
form.
Yes. So then Dr. P comes to the conclusion that Anya is an allosamorph?
Elastomorph. or
Elastomorph,
something.
yeah.
Allosamorph.
I don't know.
whatever.
It's
Shapeshifter,
like the third or
basically.
fourth shape changer that's been featured in Star Trek, and they keep giving them a different name, and they're like, "Oh my god, a shape changer? I've never heard of one of those before." And then there's always a new fucking species for them.
Yeah.
It basically like alters molecular structure into other life forms. And okay, so now we're with it's so cute. Wes and Celia, they're on the holodeck, and he's showing her different planets and talking about travel and stuff. So like, yeah, they're having a conversation in the holodeck, and it's really cute. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got to travel all these places. And she's like, oh, yeah, I can't.
Wesley's really dense. She keeps saying,
Yeah.
like, oh, if only I could. Oh, if only it were possible. And he's like, you'll be here
He's like,
someday.
yeah, it's okay, you will. Yeah, you'll see
be
all this stuff.
fine.
And she's like, no, I won't. And he's like, okay, yeah, you will. It's like, Wes, read. I know you're a child, but like you don't even have to read between the lines. She's full out being like, I can't do that. And he's like, no, you will. It'll be fine. You'll get to see all this stuff. Oh yeah, so they go like hang out in the bar, in which they get more chocolate for reasons.
Which again, they don't eat.
Yes.
Yeah. They make all this food and it just goes to waste.
It's okay. It's a replicator. It goes right back into the system.
Does it actually? You literally just put it back and it just like...
Yeah, at least in the Star Trek universe, you can put it back in the replicator and it'll like disappear it, and like those molecules will be reused and stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's neat.
There's a line in Discovery about how it's literally just recycling shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's very neat.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if they do it in TNG, but I know in DS9, like, they always say, like, you know, clean up after dinner. It's like, well, put your dishes in the replicator.
Yeah.
So it can, like, just beam it away. Or not beam it away, but just dissolve it.
Yeah, repurpose it.
Yeah, into energy.
Okay, so then like Celia gets upset. She runs out. Wes follows her. And then like she's crying, and then like everybody appears in the hall, and Anya is like, get away from her, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, so Picard asks Wes to come down. I don't know if this was as distracting to you guys as it was for me, but the conversation in the ready room with Picard and Wes. Picard's basically like, maybe stay away from her for like the crew's sake. Mm-hmm. But the way that the shot is like set up, Picard is on one side and a full ass window is beside him.
Yeah,
and I kept looking at the window instead of Picard.
The framing is very weird.
Yes, it is.
I think they used like a really intense zoom lens on it because Picard's in focus and the background is like really blurry. And the way it's framed is like Picard's like way over to the side. Like usually the person's over to the side a little bit, but he's like way over to the side. And
it's
like
you're right,
50,
Dory.
50. The window's like right in the middle of everything.
It's difficult to make that room look exciting, and like it has been done several times, but I think for this particular scene they kind of wanted to do something different. Like I noticed there's other shots in this particular episode where they use a particularly odd framing that does become normal as time goes on. But like for instance, I don't know if you guys remember, there's a moment on the bridge where the frame is Picard, Riker, and Worf, as Worf is standing behind them, but it's looking up at them at like a 45-degree angle. Mm-hmm. And Maggie, this is something that you and I are very familiar with because it's something they do on TNG a lot going forward when they need all three characters in one shot. But in this case, it just made absolutely no sense because it wasn't a tense moment.
Yeah.
It was real weird. So I'd like to shout out to the both the director and the cinematographer for please explain to us what the fuck.
Yeah, I think it's also weird because Picard's framing is a little bit more. It's not a close. It's like a bust shot, right?
Yes.
And then Wesley's shot is like a medium shot. Picard, you can see like to his shoulders basically, and then Wesley you can see all the way to his waist.
Yes.
And Wesley's shot is it's an over the shoulder, right? Like you can see the side of Picard's head in the shot when you're looking at Wesley, just to sort of like connect them together to show that they're in the same room. But the reverse shot isn't an over the shoulder, which it doesn't have to always be, but I think the framing of each shot, when you go back and forth, it really is kind of jarring. It just doesn't mesh well together.
It's almost like they didn't really... I mean, it's a simple story to begin with. So, like, it's like they had this freedom to kind of try new things with it, and they just decided to run with it in order to just make the episode interesting.
I guess, yeah. But, like, they didn't really think about it thoroughly, I don't think. Because, like, they're still doing just a standard back and forth talking shot, right? Like, it's just standard, you get them into place, and then you cut back and forth between each person. It's not like they're doing anything more interesting. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if I'd agree that they didn't think about it as much as they did think about it, but they made the wrong decision because there are several of them in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that framing just wasn't a good choice.
No, I completely agree with that.
I think what they did is they may have decided, oh, you know what? Because I'm watching the scene on silent, like as we're talking, because I wanted to get a better idea of it, just to refresh my memory. I think what it is, I think they kept him out of the window so they could do the Starfield effect, so that his face wouldn't overlap with the window.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
It still looks weird as hell.
Yeah, it looks real awkward.
It's very distracting.
Sorry, we're still recapping.
Oh yeah, okay. We're almost done recapping.
Yeah.
Okay. So then like Celia like sneaks into like to see Wes, and it's so funny because she's like, Anya thinks that you'll corrupt me, and I burst out laughing. I was like, Wes is gonna corrupt somebody? Okay. Okay, that's
She
cute.
thinks she'll corrupt me with your nerdy homeschooledness.
And then they share a kiss, and then just in time for like Anya to come in as Chewbacca, and then the funny thing is like Wes stands up and she's like, Wes, get out, and like, but Anya's blocking the door, so like, where does she think he's gonna go?
Get out, run into the corner and cower.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, well, that's what he does, because then Anya transforms into her version of Chewbacca, and they like stare at each other.
Which looks way worse.
Oh yeah, the eyes are
Those
crazy.
are some TOS costumes.
Yeah, Wes is shocked. Wes is like, I kissed that? Whoa. So basically, honestly, at the end of this episode, I kind of like stopped paying attention.
Oh,
That's totally fair.
But I think it's like, okay, she turns back into her human form, and like Wes is angry because he's like, what are you then? And I can't like you with this. I don't know. But then they say they love each other, and I'm like, your children don't. That's weird.
well, it's
and
realistic
then
for a
Anya-
16-year-old to think that.
I mean, ugh. And then Anya's like, I'm going to go somewhere else. And then, oh yeah, Wes in 5 seconds from like one conversation of him being like, I want you to leave. The next scene, he's like, hey, I just want to say goodbye and like, you're great and whatever. And she's like, Wes, can you leave? I don't want you to see me in my like actual form. And he's like, oh yeah, no, for sure. And then doesn't move. So she turns into like a glowing light, and then like he gets to say energize. And then she disappears to like to planet 4. And then Wes goes to talk to Guinan about how he'll never feel this way again. And she's like, oh, you will. But, like, you'll feel love with different people, different kinds of love. The end. Ugh.
So I might have a different opinion from you two, but I actually kind of like this episode.
I definitely didn't.
Watching this episode, it kind of just made me happy. Not gonna lie.
Like, it's cute. I think it's not bad simply because there isn't that much to actually criticize about the story in the end. It's a very simple story.
Yeah. Well, I just like that Wesley gets to be a teenage boy. He just gets to be a kid.
Yeah, that's
You
fair.
know? And I think it's cute. It's like his first time having a crush on someone, and first time, like, at least the like 16-year-old version of being in love, you know?
Yes. Fun fact about that, the actress playing Celia was 26 at the time, and
What?
Will Wheaton was 16, so good times.
That's awkward. No,
Yep.
Will Wheaton, he was at least 17, because he was 17 at the beginning of season 2.
Okay, yes, my bad. Hold up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check on it. But
I-
either way, yeah, real fucking awkward, eh?
I didn't, like, I mean, I thought she looked older. I did not think she looked 16, but I would not have guessed
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed 26.
26.
Wow.
Wow. Interesting. Like I don't like hate or dislike this episode or anything. It just like there's just some stuff about it that I just am like there's just so much where like nothing like there was so much of like Anya and Celia that like didn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there was just so much filler between them. Like I enjoyed Wes having his crush and he goes to everybody for like except for Picard.
Yeah, I was going to mention that he very distinctly does not go to Picard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what he would suggest, leaning over somebody with one arm.
He'd probably say something along the lines of, I don't fraternize with women very well.
Or he would do that weird laugh from whichever episode that or is that Naked Now also?
I think
Yes.
so.
Is everything from Naked Now?
Probably. Actually, they're retitling the series. It's now called Star Trek The Naked Now.
Star Trek The Next Naked Now.
Yep.
Yeah, like there was stuff with like the other characters that I liked, but just I found like the actual like Anya stuff was just kind of dumb. And then like she's like, oh, I had to protect her this whole time, and then in the end she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fuck off to this other planet.
Well,
yeah,
the whole thing,
turning
like,
her into a villain that we should actually hate was not a good recipe for leading us into being sympathetic with her in the end. She literally just asked to kill somebody.
Yeah, also, if she was supposed to be protecting Celia, why did she go on a fucking tour? Why didn't she just stay with
So
the
she
Dauphin?
could criticize the ship so that we could
Yeah.
hate her more.
well,
That's
no,
literally
I,
the only reason.
no, I think
Seems
it's
kind
because
of
she wanted to check out the ship for herself to see if things were safe. I don't
Why did
think
this
they were-
advanced species need the Enterprise?
I don't know. Maybe because they're like they want a neutral party
That's
to
possible.
take her back to the planet. Because the whole premise is, I don't know if we said, is that she's supposed to be like a leader on the planet. They think that she's going to be able to unite the planet because
By being
like
born a certain way, yeah.
yeah, because her mother and father, like her mother's from one side and her father's from the other side, so she's literally like related to both, and she was raised on a planet separately from everything so that she doesn't have any of the prejudices or any of that history.
Right, yeah.
It's the best of both worlds.
That'll make sense eventually, Dory. Yeah, so I they're obviously showing you that she's like overprotective, but I don't think that like you're supposed to like hate her, and I don't think she's supposed to be like a villain. It's just she's obviously very overprotective.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that bringing someone on the ship, like to a ship of people that the audience likes, and then having her go, oh, that person's sick, kill them, is anything short of making us want to dislike this person.
I guess, yeah.
Also, bringing like Madge and Amek into this for like no reason.
Yeah.
They just had she was in one scene. It was one thing if like they brought her back a couple of times, but like they really didn't. It was just one scene.
I think they really liked her in the original auditions, and they kind of looked for a way to work her in.
Then give her an episode where she can play somebody else. Don't
That'd
give
be
her
nice.
one scene.
Yeah.
Because she's a good actress.
Well, you never see her again.
But just to like...
Oh, except when she's captain of the next ship.
Hey,
I'm just
who
bullshitting.
knows? Maybe no, but like maybe they'll make a Star Trek thing for her now because I think they're doing something for with Billy Campbell for like the Great Okana. I remember hearing about something like literally right after
they
right
are
after we watched
doing,
that episode.
I think they're doing an animated Okana series,
Ugh.
which is a very weird
Why?
decision.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
watch
a
that.
very weird decision. I think
I mean, they've got some weird decisions going on in general.
maybe they could make it good, I guess. Well,
Maybe. Like, all you have to do is write him better. The
Yeah.
idea of the character isn't bad, just the character was badly written.
yeah.
And I think they've got Billy Campbell to do the part, so points there.
Yeah, well, we'll see, I guess. I thought Lower Decks was going to be really dumb, but ended up being pretty solid, actually.
Yeah. You didn't end up finishing it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Cool, we can watch the last few together.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like this episode. I guess the Anya stuff didn't really... To me, I got it. I got that it gave Wesley and Celia a reason not to be able to be together. And I guess that was just good enough for me.
Yeah.
I did wish that they got into that conflict more of the fact that she's been raised to be this leader and she doesn't have a choice in it. You know, they do some they pay a little bit of lip service to it when Anya's just Liz, I know this is hard on you, but you got to do what you're destined to do and that kind of thing. And to me that really bothers me because obviously ethically and morally I don't think it's right to put all that pressure on someone to raise a child and a person to do this one thing and have them have no option.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's
Yeah.
there could have been more of a debate, just her being look, at least her admitting look, I know this isn't fair, but please help us. You know, get into more of how devastating this war is and how dire things are, because they really gloss over that. If you really humanized, for lack of a better term, if you really humanized the people on, what is it, Daleb?
I don't even know, man.
I don't remember it. Planet 4.
Yeah.
If you really humanize them, then it would be okay, I understand why they're so desperate and why they did this and why they're not really giving her a choice in this. I just wish that there was more of actually giving her some more agency in the matter.
Yeah.
Of at least being because Wesley's you could stay on the Enterprise, right? Because Wesley doesn't know how serious the situation is.
No, not at all.
And she contemplates it for half a second and is no, I can't. But I wish she'd seriously considered it, and then Anya takes her aside and finally tells her look, this is the situation and I know it's not fair. I know if it were up to me, I wouldn't have picked this for you, but please, you're pretty much the last chance we got. I feel that would have been more impactful.
It would have also done more to make Anya a more sympathetic character.
Yeah.
Because they definitely failed at that.
Yeah. I feel that's a separate episode, though, which I don't think you could have fit in the sort of Wesley first love storyline in with it.
I'm not sure about that, because
that would have taken a back seat, I think.
I mean, there's moments of overprotection that they didn't need, that they could have put something like that in instead.
That's true.
There's the weird interaction that she has with Anya as an Ewok, which really doesn't serve much of a purpose. There's Anya going off over to the to criticize LaForge, which we already know she's overprotective. We didn't need that scene as well to do it.
Yeah.
There are so many little scenes that they didn't need that they could have fit that in, I think, personally.
Yeah, if they'd kind of skipped the part of drilling in how overprotective she is, they could have gotten Celia and Wesley together a bit earlier in the episode. Mm-hmm. And then you have the conflict of you're kind of our last chance to fix this dire situation, and her feelings for Wesley.
Yes.
You know?
I would have liked a bit more of a better conclusion, because we go from Wes in one scene being I'm angry, I want you to leave, and then the next scene she's leaving and he's okay, we're cool.
Yeah, I think he
rushed.
realized that he was being a jerk.
But that's all that was off screen.
I loved you, but I'm racist.
Yeah.
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 I just wish, yeah, like there was so much stuff that they could have cut out with Anya to just dedicate to kind of, I guess, developing Celia more, but then also giving more stuff to like, so Wes actually goes through an arc. Because I don't feel like he really did.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Because it just, everything was sort of wrapped up very quickly.
Like, aside Wesley having an experience, it's that there is no, like, nothing is resolved in this episode.
Yeah. I think it would have worked if they just skipped the part of Wesley being mad that she's a shapeshifter for some reason.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think I could agree with that.
Like, I don't understand why he was mad about that.
Yeah.
Because monsters we're racist against monsters, that's why.
I guess, yeah.
Sorry, the casualness of like, we're racist against monsters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Star Trek is very concerned with life when it's humanoid, but it's only concerned with life when it isn't humanoid if it's the point of the story.
Yeah. But yeah, like, other than that bit, because I was gonna say, like, Wesley's being a jerk, and, like, I'm not gonna get into it, and, like, it wasn't about this, obviously, but it just, like, it just gave me the vibes of, like, like, when someone's mad that someone didn't tell them that they're trans, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
I felt that too. I was
Yeah.
like, there's something about this that just almost feels like homophobic, or like just
Yeah.
something like it just felt weird. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There's something that just felt like homophobic, transphobic, all that, of just like you're hiding who you are, but like it's not hiding who you are. I don't know how to explain it, but like
Yeah.
it just felt very off when he was getting all angry at Celia.
It also doesn't suit his character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't really.
Wes always seemed like a kind of not chill, but like accepting.
Like, he's really open to other races and other cultures.
Yeah.
Except
Do you want
when
this
he
to
makes
become
out-
violent?
Except when he kisses someone, then it's a whole thing.
You made me kiss someone that I didn't think was the same. I hate you.
Yeah.
Sure, Wes. Sure.
And the thing is like, okay, I totally understand a 16-year-old thinking they're in love after like one afternoon. That's how teenagers are, okay? Like, it's dumb
absolutely.
and stupid. But I don't buy Wesley being angry after that incident and being mad that she didn't tell him about this.
Yeah, he seems like a much more patient person, and I would think like if they were sitting down and talking about it and she explains like, oh yeah, this is why I'm in this form, this is because of this, this, and this, I would have pictured him being way more like chill about it, being like, oh, okay. Because like he's like, oh yeah, that's why you asked what species we were before you guys came on the ship.
Yeah.
And like it really shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is.
Yeah, I guess that he assumed that she was like wasn't genuine in her feelings. I guess that she was just
But-
like playing pretend or whatever, but I don't see how
No,
would come
because
to
he
that
was
conclusion.
literally saying like, "Can you even love me?" And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why the fuck not? You're literally treating her like an animal.
Yeah, that also seems like yeah, that's a very prejudiced view
Yeah.
of just like
I don't think it fits with Wesley in general.
no, it definitely
Agreed.
doesn't. I could see some other person being like that, but not Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he
I
hasn't
can see
really
O'Brien
demonstrated
doing that.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh, I thought you said Brian, and I'm like,
Oh.
who the fuck's Brian? Oh, O'Brien.
yeah.
It's like, is this somebody we meet later? Just someone named Brian?
Bad luck, Brian.
Yeah, I like the I don't know, overall I like this episode. I could look over the pointless Anya stuff, but like I said,
a
it
lot
just watching this episode kind of made me happy. I just
fair.
liked seeing Wesley get to be a normal person, you know? And
Wesley's other love episode in several seasons is way better than this. So
I
at
don't
least there's
remember
that.
it, but I'll take your word for it.
You will.
Yeah, so let's get into our favorite bits, or just anything we haven't talked about yet.
I definitely know what my favorite bit is. Like, just hands down, it's Worf screaming and literally getting turned on while describing his fetishes in a very public setting.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he claims they're like Klingon
His
rituals.
grin, that like shit-eating grin, is just the absolute best. He knows that he's making other people uncomfortable, and is totally cool with that.
Do you want me to read the exchange?
Yes.
Okay, so Worf yells, and then he goes, "That is how the Klingon lures a mate." And then Wes goes, "Are you telling me to go yell at Celia?" And Worf goes, "No, men do not roar, women roar. Then they hurl heavy objects and claw at you." And then Wes goes, "What does the man do?" And Worf goes, "He reads love poetry. He thinks a lot." And then...
Like, when he says, like, they hurl heavy objects, it's like... He says it in such, like, a turned-on voice.
Oh, yeah,
It's
he
so
is
good.
mad horny.
Yeah.
Worf is having a good time.
Yeah.
And then Wes goes, "Worf, that sounds like it works great for the Klingons, but I think I need to try something a little less dangerous." And then Worf goes, "Then go to her door, beg like a human."
I love that line. Beg like a human.
Worf is a very different
so
character early in TNG.
Yeah.
I love Worf.
I like
He's
it,
great.
though.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
And then Data goes off about, like, it seems you two are biologically compatible.
Yeah, that was...
It's like, I want to talk to her, not dissect her.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is the Riker and Guinan exchange.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's so good.
I just love it because Guinan gets really into it. And then
Yeah.
Wesley's like, this isn't for me. And she's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't
Shut
ruin
up,
this.
kid.
Don't ruin this
she's
for
like-
me, kid.
She goes, "Shut up, kid. Tell me more about my eyes."
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts too, but I definitely like the ending of this episode. I really like the advice that Guinan gives to Wesley at the end. Wesley's obviously bummed, right? Like his girlfriend's gone down to Planet 4.
And they didn't even get to bone. She even said, "I wish there was something I could give you." And I'm like, Wesley, just say nudes. It's real easy. Like, she's a
No.
shapeshifter. It's not actually, like, invasive in any way because her
still
body
is.
changes at will.
It still is, though. It's still her body.
Yeah.
It's a version
Yeah.
of her body. In any case, because Wesley's sitting in 10 forward, bummed out, with a drink that has, like, the best fizz ever. Like, the bubbles go at such a consistent rate. It's amazing. I don't...
I also
like,
I
it
the
seems
glass.
unreal. Yeah.
I like the glass he's holding.
Yep.
It's so nice.
Very impressive.
And Guinan comes over and he's like, like, I'm never going to feel that way about someone again. And she's like, you're right, you're not. And he's like, what? That's totally not what I was expecting you to say. And she was like, yeah, you'll fall in love again, but it won't be the same. Every time you fall in love, it'll be different. And yeah, I just thought that was, like, really good advice and, at least for me, holds really true.
Is Guinan becoming the MVP?
Oh, yeah. Guinan's
This
always
episode
the MVP.
and then last episode too. Just like giving all the good advice.
And personally, I like how the episode ends because, yeah, Wesley just replies, it's like, hearing that, like, it still doesn't make it better. And she's like, it's not supposed to. And then they kind of just, like, end the episode there. And it's like, yeah, this is just kind of like, it sucks, And it's just gonna suck for a while, I just like that Guinan's kind of real like that. All right, so with that, let's get into predictions for the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
So the next episode, Dory, you'll be happy to know, is called Contagion.
My fucking God.
However, like we said in the beginning, the title has nothing to do with the episode. So
Okay.
here's your hint. The Enterprise explores the history of an ancient extinct race.
Oh.
Yeah. And they get to see, they hang out with another ship called the Yamato.
Ooh.
Another hint I'll give you, since the title doesn't really help that much, is that this is very vague, but something real bad happens.
Oh no. That could be so many things. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
especially when it's called Contagion.
Oh God.
Yeah. But it's not a virus. I'll give you that much.
Okay. I got something. So the Yamato and the Enterprise, maybe they accidentally, like, they hit each other from, like, jumping into warp or something. There's some kind of thing that, like, with the atmosphere that they don't really get to see each other, and they somehow manage to hit each other, but, like, they're stuck together.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out a way to safely separate and, like, fix the damage together, or else it, like, everybody's fucked. But maybe the Yamato is, maybe it's been a long lost ship that has, like, people on it that they thought were, like, a race of long lost people
Okay.
or whatever. And they, like, maybe the Yamato's been stuck in space for a long time, and, like, something happened that they, maybe there's something, yeah, like I said earlier, in the atmosphere that, like, fucks around with space. And so, like, the Enterprise can't see that they're there because of the fuck up of space, black hole or whatever. And the Yamato shows up and they're like, wait, what the fuck? And then they hit each other and they learn, oh shit, they're not dead. We thought they've been dead for all this time, but they're actually not. They've been stuck for such a long time. But now we have to, like, get them off the ship for once so they can settle down somewhere and stop traveling space. But if they want to do that, if they want to settle down somewhere, yes.
That is quite a prediction, Dory.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I quite like the idea.
That morsel of entertainment.
I am really intrigued by the idea of, like, two ships crashing into each other.
Okay, so now I know I'm definitely wrong.
No, maybe we don't remember the episode.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm not changing it, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure I'm wrong.
Don't you dare.
I think we've established by now the point is not to get it right. It's just to see what, like, I like making the episodes sound, like, as weird as possible. I guess we didn't do that for this one, but for the most part, I like making the episode sound as weird as possible, and then seeing your mind work. Try to work out the puzzle.
I like that you're getting closer and closer to, like, what Star Trek stories are.
Yeah.
I mean, how many episodes have we watched at this point? Probably 30 something at this or something.
More than that. I think we're into the 40s.
Wow.
Oh my god, wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, we're 1/5 of the way there.
Whoa.
So with
More
that,
episodes are there.
so with that, if you want to see if Dory's right or how wrong she is, watch along with us and join us next time for Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.